national championship with two great teams. We got Ohio State and Notre Dame, and we're just going to roll right through the game. Look at different situations, different play calls on both sides of the football. And right here, starting off, Notre Dame has just a magical drive. 18 plays, nearly 10 minutes, exactly what you'd want to do if you're Notre Dame. Take some time off the clock, score a touchdown. It was a really impressive drive. And, of course, when everybody saw this, they thought, oh, man, these guys might be able to do it. But we're going to look at some of the plays. And right here, on a 2nd and 11, whenever you're able to run the quarterback right here, and this one is a little bit of RPO. Like you got split zone, you're kicking right here. Running back's actually faking, and he's leading up to this linebacker to make everything right. And right here on the outside, you see they're running an out route. And basically, I would say Riley Leonard's looking at this as far as an out route. If he does have space, he can put this thing out there. If he gives ground, but here he plays pretty tight. You got a safety over the top, so right there you got 2-on-1. So that evens the box numbers right there to run the football. And right there, you get a kick on Jack Sawyer. He tries to go around, thinking that he's going to possibly get upfield for the sack. And then that back does a great job just wrapping around, get tight to it, just like you are a running back right here for Riley Leonard. And this ends up being a pretty good play. And this is the second play of the game after they got stopped for a loss. So right here, first big run, a little bit of RPO, a little bit of split zone RPO right here, out route. Yeah, safety over the top, corners low. So right here, Riley Leonard ends up running right through that seam that you're looking for. Really good movement on this double team. As you're seeing right here, this double team on the defensive tackle moves that guy pretty well, horizontally and vertically. So right there, 3 or 4 yards movement, and they didn't get just a ton of movement like that on the run game for a lot of the night. So this is a great play, especially early in the game, to fall forward for about 8 by Notre Dame. Here's a play called 3rd and 1, and I thought it was pretty interesting. So they're in a 3-back set. You think this is a heavy rundown. They motion the back out like a lot of teams have done. They started doing this with Christian McCaffrey and getting him out and run option routes and things like that. So motion him out, making it like they're getting into just 2-back set, and then he comes back to it, and they just run power read. So right here, as you see it, again, double team there to the back side. There's your puller for the front side. Here's your read. So let's see what he does right here, and you see he sits. So he doesn't really squeeze too hard. He doesn't turn his shoulders, but he's sitting right there reading for the quarterback, reading for this puller. So they end up handing the ball. You're getting a crack. You're getting a lead there with the back. So right there, with the 3-back set, you get 2 guys out there leading. But this is a great job by Jordan Hancock right here. Sets the edge, outside shoulder free. And again, just how aggressive these guys are down right here on this 3rd and 1. Getting into the fit. So right there, keeps his outside arm free. So he's working outside, trying to get this to turn back to everybody that's running inside out. And just the effort right here. I know this early in the game, 3rd and 1. These guys are rolling. But right here, again, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys right here at the point of attack. Other guys trying to get there. So this is a really good football play. Just the entire defense running right there. Gets him on the ground, stops him short on 3rd and 1. Of course, this spot of the field, Notre Dame ends up going for it. And, of course, who else is it going to be? It's just going to be a quarterback run. And all they do is get there and they just run a duo. And motion in. And they did this quite a bit this night. And basically get into the same thing they do with bunch a lot of times, running that duo, and these guys are just leading out here. So 3 bodies right here into the C gap, fitting all that, just trying to get extra hats and extra weight here to the front side. They even leave this defensive end, which is kind of shocking. I'm not sure why he blocks down. You'd probably want a base right here so he can't run this down. I think they do get lucky that he doesn't squeeze hard enough, or he's unable to, because these are really good football players. Riley Leonard does a great job of just catching it and going. He's able to outrun this end. But right here on this one is a little bit tighter than I was hoping it would be. But right there, just a lot of bodies. This movement on this D end. This is a heck of a job here by the tight end right tackle. And they absolutely rock this dude and throw him on his back. Again, they're setting the tone right here for the game, hoping that this is something that they can do more than one drive. But, of course, the defense tightens up a little bit and doesn't allow all this where they're just getting absolutely rocked right here. That's a great play by those guys. And then Riley Leonard, of course, outrunning the backside D end, falling forward, getting a 1st down on 4th and 1. And, of course, you're probably not going to be able to run the quarterback 8 or 9 times a drive and still have him upright at the end of the game. The quarterback run, first drive, and right here just running a little bit of counter. Jack Sawyer squeezes this pretty good. But really good job here by the guard. That's Billy Schrouth, a guy that just junior, should be back next year. But really hard squeeze. Able to kick it, though. So this is a really good play by him. Being violent on that and getting a kick. And there's the fullback that's leading in as well. So should have body for body. They're trying to work up that linebacker. And, again, Riley Leonard has a great feel for the run game. Sees that kick. He is vertical in what's a really tight seam right here. And you see that squeeze makes this into a really tight window. But Riley Leonard playing with momentum, and how big that guy is and how athletic is pretty impressive. Hits right at the line of scrimmage, just past the 1st down marker. He's able to fall forward, get it close to the end zone. Again, great play. This is another 4th and 1 conversion. Just running a quarterback counter. Big bodies in there moving those guys. And, of course, when the guy running the ball is that big and that athletic as well, really helps out. Very next play, of course, 18th play of the drive. Defense is gassed, offense is gassed. Riley Leonard's throwing up, whatever it is. But right here, they just get basically where they're just running inside zone, motion across, blocks down, and he walks all the way here, kicks Caleb Downs right here, which is a really good block. I mean, he's really physical right here on this one. Does a great job. Put your left shoulder on him, try to get inside out. And, of course, whenever you're just able to get a double team on that defensive end and walk him up to the linebacker, that really helps. And, of course, when you're 18 plays in, a lot of times you can kind of dictate what's going on offensively, because it seems like, for whatever reason, the defensive line gets a lot more tired than the offensive line. Maybe the O-line's not running as hard, not playing quite as sideline to sideline. So right here on this one, they're able to walk that guy off the ball. And, of course, this is a guy that hadn't played all year right here at the left tackle spot. Titan does a great job getting a piece of him as well, working up. And, of course, when you get that movement like that on the goal line and you get a kick, there's really nothing left. And, of course, works across there with the back to block whatever else is off the edge. Walk-in touchdown here. And on this look right here, you can really see just kind of the push and the movement that they get right there horizontally. So this is a really good football play by both these guys. And then good job getting your shoulder inside to get into the wash. Walk-in touchdown here. And the 18th play, unbelievable drive for Notre Dame. They start the national championship game. With Notre Dame taking 10 minutes off the clock right here, very first drive. There's only 2 minutes left in the first quarter whenever we get to some Ohio State offense. And right here on this one, you see you're an empty set. You got 2 receivers to the field, 3 over here to the boundary, and you got Judkins right here, of course. Had 3 touchdowns in the game, played really well. Those guys are really hard to stop with those 2 good backs. But right here on this one, I mean, if you're looking at it, you got 3 basically on 2. This guy's way too high over the top. He's really not going to be a factor for the screen. He even slides into the box. So right there, just going to take 1, 2, flip the ball out there to him. One of the more dynamic guys. This is a great job of just finding a way to get your guy this ball in space and give him an opportunity. Right on the other side, I'm not sure what they're doing. Looks like they may be running square ends. If you like that space, you may take that as well because there's pass pro there up front. But right here, likes the numbers over there to the boundary. Easy throw and catch. Get the ball to your guy in space. And if you can look at this, you got a tight end. Looks like you got a couple tight ends out here in front. So you got really good blockers in space or even in the box. So right there, hard to stop. Big bodies out there on DBs into an empty set. Easy throw and catch. Now you're running through a safety 15 yards on what should be 100% completion right there by Will Howard. And right here, Ohio State here with a 3rd and 3. And, of course, Ryan Day did work for Urban Meyer. So, I mean, it's Tebow time right here is really what it is. Just quarterback power. Blocking down there, blocking to the backside. You J blocking right here, putting your outside shoulder, kicking him, pulling the backside guard, leading. And you even got a back that's leading there as well. So the numbers look great as far as this run. Gap hinge, the only issue could be is if he just runs through that backside gap pretty quickly. Could be a little bit tough, but right there he's sitting to the backside. Good job hinging back as well. All right, quarterback, you just got to slide just a little bit, let that guard get in front. And they're hitting this thing with momentum. Of course, Will Howard's a bigger guy as well. I mean, 6'4", 230, 240 is whatever they're saying. But right there, get the first down. And, of course, they're teaching him to get down. Of course, Riley Leonard would have ran into a brick wall right here if he had to. But Will Howard protected himself, gets the first down, gets down on 3rd and 3. Running quarterback power, just a little bit of Tebow time. Easy first down as far as the numbers here for Ohio State. Great play call here. And, of course, this is one that Ryan Day may have stole from Sark whenever they played Alabama National Championship. But right here, here's your best player on the field. Once he goes like he's going reverse, the guy that's manned up on him is right here. Of course, really good football player, but he did have a tough night, tough assignment. Right there, as soon as he takes off, he loses him. His eyes go across the field. You got a crosser here, hard play action. These guys are basically max protecting. He's going across as well, getting a little bit of a rub. But right there, wide open right there, the first option, because they lose him with man-to-man. He's trying to run over the top, thinking that he's running all the way across, or maybe it's a reverse. And so right there, a little bit of movement post-snap, because he doesn't do anything until that ball is snapped. And right there, of course, they're pointing out where he's at, which is probably one of the number one things they want to do, try to get help over the top of the safety. But right here on this one, just a little bit of movement, make it look like a reverse, gets the guy wide open on probably one of the easier passes that you could have. And, of course, Chip Kelly, Ryan Day dialed it up this game. So right there, just loses them. And just an easy throw and catch, walk-in touchdown there. For probably the best wide receiver in the country. So after that first drive from Notre Dame, they just go 3 and out. There's really one of those things that is really feast or famine for them. They either went down and had a great drive and took a lot of time off the clock, had a chance to score or did score, or basically had a 3 and out. And right here on this one, starting the drive for Ohio State. And this is just kind of a numbers game here. So you're getting your tackle, you're getting 2 tight ends, they're working out wide, and everybody else is running outside zone over here to the left. And basically they're looking at numbers. So going this way, you got 4 guys blocking. Over here, you've got 3 guys blocking. If you just look at numbers, you got 1, 2, 3. He's a non-factor in the B gap. Over here on this one, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys to the backside. So right here, just based on numbers, we're going to hand this. If we don't like the numbers, I think we're faking that. We're running mid-zone out here with Trayvon Henderson. But on this one, this is a great call. D-tackle squeezes. Everybody else does a great job of reaching that outside shoulder, getting a body. One high safety is rolling down there to it. But by that time, Buka, I mean, it's one of those things, again, they're so dynamic on the outside and at the running back spot, which this is kind of prophetic right here. That ball is a little bit loose right here on this one. He swats at it, and you see it kind of does get loose. So it's one of those things. Later in the game, comes back to haunt him. But right here on this one, this is a great call. Great execution as well. Outruns that D-tackle. He can't change direction with you. If he does, and he's out here going to play this, now eventually they're going to hand this wide zone here to Trayvon Henderson to the front side. But this is a great play. Makes the guy miss. Falls forward. Big first down there to start the drive off for Ohio State. Continue that momentum. Already down here to the goal line. And again, you got two tight ends set, which of course Ohio State ran most of the night. Got a lot of different formations with it, but around this one, all it is inside zone out of the pistol. So or they don't know where the back's of the line, and he's straight downhill. Down. Everybody's blocking to the right. You see you got a tight end that's going to watch that. You got your other tight end that's going to work all the way across on the split zone, trying to kick the outside linebacker that's stepping in. So he gets a piece of him, and Quinshon Judkins decides he's going to bounce it, but no chance right here. He just puts his hand right on top of his hat and just stiff arms him right to the ground like a Darren McFadden stiff arm right here. Throws him down, and now this is another thing. At 5 yards, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys that are just rallying to it. You think, all right, that's a pretty good football play. He threw a guy to the ground. He's going to get 5, 6 yards. It's the first and goal. But right here, just the effort and just the talent to run through that and then stay off the ground, lunge, finds a way to get into the end zone. This is a great football play. This is another one of those things that people don't really see. I mean, these are great football players for Ohio State, especially at the skill spots, so they don't have to snap the ball again. If this is an average football player, he's going to get tackled, 2 or 3 yard line, and now you got to snap the ball again, which who knows what happens every time you have to snap the football. You assume you're going to score still, but, I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion. But right there, this is a great effort, and then just a great football player. Finds a way to get in the end zone, not snap the ball again there for Ohio State. Still looking at Ohio State's offense. Notre Dame went 3 and out again. And right here on this one, this is 3rd and 7. They were really good, especially early on 3rd downs until they got a little bit too conservative. But right here on this one, you get a little bit of motion, eyes on Jeremiah Smith. And really where they're trying to go is they're getting a switch release right here. So this is going vertical. He's stepping in. He's going to the out route. And on this is a really good football play by Will Howard getting this thing out, which, I mean, if you're looking at the switch release, he goes inside. He slides over the top. Ends up being a little bit flat-footed off that. Gives him a little stick. So right there, this is a really good route. Boom, stick. Now going to the out. You see he's lunging to the inside. I think this is probably some sort of a option route or crossing route, and there's tons of space. But Will Howard, what ends up happening, they do get a twist. So then they hit home with it, and it happens pretty quick. To hit the quarterback on an out route like this is pretty interesting. So right there, they do a great job of getting a rush. Will Howard stands in there, releases it as he's getting hit. The pocket's not perfect. His form's not perfect, all that stuff, but just being a ball player, getting enough on the football, getting it away from the defender and keeping him running so he can get a first down is a big play. And right there, really accurate, good football by Ohio State and Will Howard. Same drive right here. And of course, this snowballed pretty quickly if you're an Irish fan. This ends up, it's 14-0 right now, right before the half. And on this, really just a scramble drill on this. Really nothing too crazy as far as the scheme. Looks like they're doing some sort of a flat route, crosser, maybe a one-on-one here. And you got a corner over the top. And if, I'm talking with the quarterback, I'm probably saying, hey, rip this thing out here, let Buka go get a ball for you, but Will Howard doesn't like it. So on this one, he starts working, and Judkins does a great job. He's just working this underneath area right here. He had no pro because nobody ended up blitzing. But right here, when he's working, he just sees there's nobody left right here in the middle of the field, so he goes vertical. I think it's just a scramble drill. He's just working around. He just goes vertical, finds space, and Will Howard does a great job keeping his eyes up, finding them. Everybody else gets their eyes on the big quarterback. Of course, does have the option to run right here, so that's why they got to step up. Great job finding them, and then just an easy throw and catch right there, wide open in the end zone. Going up 21-0 right before the half in the national championship game on another really big drive. Ohio State getting all the way 3rd and goal here. Still in heavy set again. 3 tight ends, fullback, Judkins, Will Howard. I mean, that's all they have out here on the field. Of course, get some of the best receivers, but they're just going to run power football right here with Chip Kelly, and they're just running power. So if you're looking at everybody, down block, block back, going to pull to lead to the front side, trying to double that up. That puller's probably right there. Fullback, I'm going to go right there to kick. And these guys got to be a little bit more aggressive here on the end. Squeeze harder. Try to wrong shoulder that, maybe make it bounce. But what ends up happening right here, they do get a kick. There's a double team. They do work up. There's the lead. Safety is free, but right here. Everybody's cut off from the backside. Nothing able to happen right there. They've got to still fill in and stop one of the better running backs in the country right here. And, of course, there's the free hitter. About 1.5 yards to go, and he just slips that tackle, falls into the end zone. Really good execution by pretty much everybody on the field. Love to squeeze this just a little bit more there from that outside linebacker, strong safety. But right there, the kick, this guy's fitting in. But, I mean, a good running back, a lot of times, he's going to find a way to get in the end zone. That's what happens again right here. Falls forward. Going up 28-7 right here to start basically the second half for Ohio State. Everybody's thinking this game's over, but Notre Dame has different thoughts, and they just keep fighting. Interesting call right here, of course. Fake punt. They ran this a couple times in the year, motion them in, and then just run the out route. They're hoping these guys think he's going across and get inside leverage. And when you just speed cut that, you got a guy that's got some space. But here they do have space, but of course, when you're throwing it with backup guys in there and guys that hadn't just done this a ton on the field, a lot of times maybe it's just off just a little bit. And that's what happens on this. Because everything looks great. This is exactly what they want. And this is a catchable ball, just a little bit low. Not the most accurate thing you could have out there, but right here, great effort. Just can't quite finish it. And the throw is there. They just don't quite connect on it. Incompletion right there. Turnover on downs. But here on this one, you have to know there's something up. You're already up 28-7. You got a backup quarterback standing right over the football. So you got to know something's going on. They still got a lot of their defensive guys in there. I know we got Caleb Downs, we got Jack Sawyer. They're just playing it just like it was just a sprint out route. But just a little bit inaccurate because you have your backup guys in there, guys that haven't been doing just a ton. So, again, big turnover right there. Of course, Ryan Day, he's fired up, man. He should be fired up. Even though they got that fake punt stop, all it did was lead to a field goal. Still 31-7. Technically a 3-score game, which, you got to be perfect as far as those 3 scores because that's 3 touchdowns and 3 2-point conversions. So, right there, field goal is huge. And now we're going to start looking at some of the Notre Dame drives that they had later in the game and how they were able to have a little bit of success and just keep rolling. Right on this one, getting back to just the inside zone duo with that motion that they had earlier for the touchdown. This on 3rd and 1. He's going to motion across. He's going to kick right there. Double here, and that's where they got into that wash last time. He's going to kick the front side. So he got the numbers right. Catch straight downhill, and this time he ends up popping to the front side over here because we got a kick from the running back. Love to be a little more physical there at the point of attack. Right there, again, good read. Slips to the front side, falls forward. 4 or 5 yard gain on 3rd and 1. Of course, when you're converting 3rd and 1s and just staying on the field, it gives you a chance to make stuff happen. And right here, motion over to a 2x2 set, and they're just running basically a switch release here. He's going to the slant inside. He goes outside, and they're just wanting to work that in route. And I can see why. So right there, put on his body, just kind of a switch release. He ends up going in, then going vertical. When he goes out, a lot of times you got outside leverage here, so he sticks it and comes to the middle of the field on this late slant. And right here, puts it on his body. And this is pretty good coverage. It's tight coverage, but right there on his body. And he's able to run through this tackle right there. He's just trying to hold on, not quite get the ball out. And then, of course, just being an athlete right here. This is one of the better players in the country. It's Caleb Downs flying in there. Everybody loves that dude. But right there, spin move by Greathouse. And, unbelievable play. So, runs through one tackle, trying to get the ball. The guy's trying to get the ball out. I get it. And then spin move off the safety. And then everybody else just playing hard, getting a block. Race to the end zone right there. And, again, another good block here downfield. They take care of business. Great job here by the receivers blocking downfield. And of course, Greathouse making things happen. Having to break the tackle and really hold on to the football in pretty tight coverage on this one. And then right there, making Caleb Downs miss. And then finishing in the end zone. That was a huge play. Trying to get a little bit of momentum back. Still down 3 scores because you got to get the 2-point conversion. Right here on this one, another great call. They had some really good calls on the couple 2-point conversions they did have. And a lot of times what you're thinking right here is they're trying to run this little pick route, run some sort of a snag. And they do a great job of getting numbers to it. And a lot of people see this play. So, snag's not there. I think that they do have an option to throw this, especially if this guy squeezes. He's right here. Just look at what the quarterback's rating. Boom. He gets his eyes around. He sees this guy squeeze. You got an extra guy off the edge. So right there, he's like, I'm not going to be able to get the edge. So let's go ahead and option this thing. He ends up kicking the defensive end, shovels it down underneath, and everybody else working wide. You see safety, the guy that's really should be the free hitter. He's working out right here thinking about the snag. And, of course, that is an option, I think. But right here, ends getting upfield. We're not going to be able to get the edge. Let's flip this down underneath, see what happens. Easy catch. Jack Sawyer even got out wide as well. So right there, easy pitch. And there's tons of space right there up front. So this is a really well-executed play. Really good call. Denbrock on those 2-point conversions did a really good job. Look at some Ohio State right here. And I think they went a little bit too conservative. But this is a good call right here. Still being aggressive. Chance to run the football. But then also RPO here on the outside. All it is pin and pull. And you see down, pulling the guard. They pull the center. He's going to reach. And I think he bases here to the backside. So here's your read. He's coming across. And they're just running double slants here to the outside. And so A lot of people say, hey, RPO kryptonite is going to be man-to-man. But here, whenever you feel really good about the guys on the outside winning man-to-man, and you can still read in the box, he's got to get out to make this 2-on-1. If he doesn't, we're going to go 1-on-1 outside to those slants. So right here on this one, you see again play action. He steps into the box. I'm going to let him work. He's going to win on slant. You see the space that created with him sliding in for the run. So right there, feel great about the space. Will Howard pulls it, gets his feet around. They win to the inside on the slant with tons of space. See the linebacker that was the read all the way over here. It's one high look. He's playing over the top. Make sure there's not a slot fade or something. But right there, easy slant. Big completion there to Buka. This is 1st and 10. I mean, it's not a huge play, but of course they're trying to get a stop as quickly as possible. You get 6-7 yards on the 1st and 10. That's a huge play. It sets you up really well to get a first down. Roll the clock there for Chip Kelly and Ohio State. Right at the beginning of the 4th quarter, of course, Marcus Freeman, he was on TV and he's like, man, we got to get turnover. We got to get turnover. We got to do this. We got to do that. And that's basically what they're talking about. And Herbert Street might have jinxed them. And right here, interesting call. This is one that Texas runs a little bit. They like to get the spinner stuff. And they got their running back out here like they had earlier. They threw it out there to him. Of course, it's a different formation there in bunch. They motion him across, fake it to him. Then you got basically running counter here up front. So there's your puller. He ends up squeezing. Great. We're going to get the edge, just what you want with your receiver anyway. It's a great job going to the safety, working up there as well. So you guys leading. Just spinner right there for misdirection, throwing it underneath to Buka. Of course, one of the more dynamic guys. Early in the game, that ball did get loose when somebody tried to hit it from the backside. And on this one, same thing happens right before he gets to the ground. Great effort here by Drake Bowen, just flying in there and just punching. I mean, it's one of those things, you just got to put force onto the football. And that's right here. It's not the guy you see. It's always going to be the guy you don't see that typically knocks it out. Just great force on the football. Knocks this thing out. This is a very big moment in the game. And of course, Notre Dame playing fast. They get on it, and they're jacked. I mean, they're down 2 scores, and they just got the football here to start the 4th quarter, and all the momentum. You know, Ohio State had started running the clock, doing a great job of getting the first downs and just being methodical. And now, just a turnover, even after an explosive play. I mean, it's one of those things. On this, I think Ohio State is being aggressive. But Buka right there, just a little bit lack with the ball security. He was early in the game as well. Had that thing almost punched out. And this time, gets it knocked out after about a 20-yard gain. Right, I think this might be one of the best throws of the game right here from Riley Leonard. And of course, you saw Will Howard has something similar as far as a guy in his face. But this one, he pushed it downfield a little bit. And this really is trying to be a funky blitz here from Ohio State. Get a guy free. This on 3rd and 9. And they end up leaving one of the better receivers on a linebacker, and right here, Riley does a great job. You see, running back gets ran through right here, so there's a guy right in your face as he's throwing it. This thing's wobbly, but just the way he's able to get this thing out. Whenever I saw it live, I thought, man, there's no way this ball's anywhere close, but it hits this guy right in the chest, running him away from that linebacker that was trying to man him up after that funky blitz. They did hit home. They did get there because they ran through this running back. Does a great job here on a corner blitz, being aggressive. But right here, Riley Leonard standing in there, guy in his face, getting his arm hit as he's doing it. And still able to deliver an accurate ball. It was really good football play. Both those guys made some really good football plays. But right there, on a 3rd and 9, you just kind of got the momentum back. You got the turnover. Got to have a good drive right here. Try to get down to 1 score. So great call here. This is on a 4th and 5. Same drive, so they got to come up with some clutch plays. And what they end up doing is coming in here. And a lot of times whenever you're doing this, you're running a smash route. But on this, they end up running in, up, and they end up running a basic. He goes out, and then he comes back in, really just high-lowing how they end up playing this. So right here on this, gets outside leverage. He basically turns the corner. Here's Caleb Downs. He's going to take whatever breaks in. So he goes vertical, and he breaks in. So he's got to take that. When he goes out, it pauses this outside defender. He sits out here wide, goes at him, and then he turns back in right at the sticks. And right there, I thought this was a great play. Back almost screws this up, getting knocked all the way out there, almost into the route. But right on this one, out route right there, you see he pauses. He thinks he's got great leverage. Downs is looking for whatever breaks in. So right there, he breaks in. Kind of later, we're not able to see that. But right there, the in breaking route, easy throwing catch. The only reason that this kind of gets jumbled up is because the back gets pushed to it. But right here on this, again, where's Caleb Downs? He was sitting there on the inside. There's your in breaking route. He had to take that. So again, great design here by Denbrock, and then execution, putting the ball in his body. And again, the guy that you want to get the ball. I mean, great house, scheme it up so that, you know, the guy that you really trust is the guy that's getting the football. Good throwing catch right there on his body. Big play right there on 4th and 5. Of course, that last drive from Notre Dame had some key conversions, got down there close. Elected to kick a field goal, bounced it off the field goal post. And I get the reason why. You're not going to assume that you're going to be perfect and get all the 2-point conversions. You're down there about the 8-9 yard line. That's going to be a tough conversion on 4th down. Kick it, get it where 2 touchdowns wins you the game, as opposed to having to get 2 touchdowns, do 2-point conversions, and have to be perfect the rest of the game. So I see the thought process, but also I don't know. I probably would have gone for it. But right here on this one, Ohio State, we're back. We're just running quarterback power, and they kind of get a little bit vanilla right here late in the game, up 2 scores. And right here on this one, good look. They do get a twist, so that's probably the reason why they get as much movement as they do. With that twist, tight end comes off. These guys are leading. There's nobody left in the box for the quarterback run since we're leading out there with the back. And right there, big play, runs to an arm tackle, about 12 yards. Just a little bit of quarterback power right there. Three by one. Do have the option to flip it out there if they're not 3 low. So if they're a too high look, could flip it out there on 2nd and 9. But instead, we look good in the box as far as numbers. Don't like the bubble because it's man-to-man. So let's go ahead and run. Quarterback, nobody left. Great job executing because the numbers weren't right there for Notre Dame for the quarterback run. Not able to convert a couple first downs. They get 1 and they run some time off the clock. And right here, getting down to it. Notre Dame, we got to score. We got to be aggressive. We got to find a way. Of course, Ohio State's defense, you want to keep doing what you're doing. Just play fast. You don't have to be way too soft, way too conservative. And right here on this one, it's just a great play by Riley Leonard. I mean, just a little bit of movement in the pocket. Not sure exactly what the routes are. Right here, finds a guy in the middle of the field. I think it's probably a basic here from the backside. But just really, he steps up. You got a guy that's spying, of course, because he's so athletic. And he ends up fitting into the box and just a free hitter. And you see he's trying to knock the ball down. He gets his hand up, and he's getting into his body at the same time. So this is a tough football play. Rolling to your left. Able to get enough on this. This is a really impressive football play. Throwing the thing down the middle of the field at about 12, 13 yards deep and being an accurate tough football play there by Riley Leonard with about 6 minutes left. Still down 2 scores. Got to score quick too. Of course, 3rd and 9 right here, and Jim Knowles decides, hey, we are going to bring the heat, bringing 6 right here, and they end up just throwing a fade. It's one-on-one outside. It's cover 1. They're rolling the safety over this way for whatever reason. So one-on-one with Greathouse, the best guy on the field so far at the receiver spot for Notre Dame. So they are bringing 5, leaving a guy here to spy the quarterback. Bringing 5, leaving a guy here to spy. And Riley Leonard, hey, I'm just going to take my shot outside. We got my best guy. I'm going to lay it up there. And this is a great spot. So right there, good job. He's holding the bottom of the numbers so he doesn't get washed all the way to the sideline. Owns his space and then throws up. Makes a great play. I mean, it's one of those just traps against his body with that one hand. Huge play. Touchdown. Now with 2 scores, we got to get a 2-point conversion to get this into a 1-score game. After touchdown, of course, Notre Dame still down 2 scores. Got to get a 2-point conversion. And Denbrock, man, those guys had some really good conversions. I mean, 2 times they came up with a really good play call. It's kind of interesting right here that they're just trusting that Jack Sawyer, one of the best players on the field, we're just not going to block him and see what happens. But right here, I think he's probably going to squeeze. They go reverse right here out of the bunch. He's coming across. I'm not sure if he's supposed to take Sawyer or not, but he ends up taking his defensive end. Have to outrun Jack Sawyer. Outside receiver, the only guy over here, he comes like he's cracking it. And right here already you can see nobody has eyes on him, so right here he's just going to turn back out. And if we can just buy enough time, there's going to be nobody left for him. So right there, again, aggressive play call. I mean, reverse out, making it look like a toss over here to the bunch. Bunch guys come over here. He's still on the edge. I think they're probably hoping that he squeezes, but instead he gets upfield, toss it right there. Still able to beat him. So this is a good football play. Beats Jack Sawyer with speed. And now nobody saw the outside receiver just kind of leak in and get to the back of the end zone. Easy don't catch right there. Great conversion. Great aggressive call by Denbrock. Got to get a stop now. Got about 3 minutes left in the game. If you can get a stop, you got a chance to tie this thing up. Of course, again, you got to be perfect. Touchdown and 2-point conversion to push this thing to overtime. Of course, Ohio State, they ended up just running the quarterback quite a bit, trying to run this game out. And right here again, unbalanced set, this time running power. Quarterback is getting led right there by one of the best runners in the country. You'd think that you really want to give it to those running backs. I understand the numbers part of it, but we brought these guys in for a reason and kept Travion Henderson. But right here, unbalanced set, quarterback power, got 3-by-1 over here. Everybody's just basically blocking man on, pulling the kick right there. And on this one, Will Howard gets all the way to the backside. Travion Henderson does a great job. He beats him to the inside, being really aggressive here by the outside linebacker safety, trying to get him on the ground right here. Just keeps bouncing it. And Will Howard gets all the way to the backside C-gap. DN right here. JT, I think, gets into this backside B-gap. So right there, Will Howard just outruns him. Get to the sticks, get down, stay in bounds, all that stuff. Right here, still 3:27 left on the clock. And this is the very first down of this drive. So you got the 2-minute timeout. You got all your timeouts. So we still feel pretty good. Just got to get a stop right now. And, of course, this one right here is just the dagger. I mean, one-on-one, you have off corner. It's a 3rd and 11. You're still thinking they're probably going to try to run it and try to take your last time out. And you've got probably 2:30 left on the clock plus a 2-minute timeout. You feel great about what you have. But right here, being aggressive. You got to go right here by the outside receiver on the guy that's made a lot of big plays this year. which is fine. All right, so right here, as you're looking at just the stem of it, Jeremiah Smith does a great job because right here, inside leverage, he wants him to go outside. But it's one of those things, whenever you go inside that hard and get him to stop his momentum, and now you have all that space. I wouldn't say this is a great play fundamentally. I think we're getting way too far inside. Yeah, I know he's stemming. We should be about right here, ready for that possible end break, but really trying to force him to run this fade. But we got to close the distance a little bit more than this. So right here, this just slides in a little bit much with that stem, and right there just outruns him. This should be a touchdown. Will Howard slows him down just a little bit, and of course, I get it. I mean, best player in the country, you're one-on-one. You got an entire third of the field to guard with him right there on that fade. It's what you want him to throw, but we just got to be a little bit tighter coverage than that so we can have a chance to knock this down. Even if he goes up and makes a great play, cool, but we need to be hip to hip, at least make this be a tougher catch than what it is. Right there again, hey, great player, great route, gutsy call right there, and it puts it down inside the red zone. We're able to run a little bit more time off, get inside 2 minutes, and then kick a field goal to go up 2 scores, and an insurmountable lead right there for Ohio State. So really good football game. I mean, it's one of those whenever it's 31-7 that I thought this thing was over with no chance by the Irish, but those dudes kept fighting, found a way, had some creative calls. Riley Leonard, I thought, played a really good football game. Was able to throw the ball through a little bit of pressure, but of course, Ohio State, man, just extremely explosive on the edge. I think that's the thing that set those guys apart, and I think that's what a lot of teams are trying to do. We got to be dynamic on the edge, got to be dynamic at the running back spot. With the way defenses are now, the defense is caught back up with the offense, and now it's a defensive game. Just think about the number 1 defense in the country is Ohio State, and right there, top 10, Notre Dame, probably one of the best ones in the country as well. And all the teams that went far this year, man, hang their hat on defense. Texas was the same way. Penn State was the same way. So everybody's leaning on that defense, but whenever you have the dynamic guys on the outside, that's what set Ohio State apart. And, of course, Will Howard had a great game. Jeremiah Smith made plays. Ekbuka was really good. Of course, he had that one error right there as far as the fumble, but really can't believe the season's over. I mean, this is one of those things, a great season for Notre Dame, great season, obviously, national championship for Ohio State. But if you made it to this point in the video, I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll keep rolling with some of the videos. We're going to look at just space schemes. Some teams as well, but really probably schemes overall as far as college football and how that's been evolving. But if you made this point, click on the video right here. It's what YouTube thinks you'll like, and I'll see you guys again in the next video.